Do I want to live in a world where Serena Williams at 44 wins Wimbledon? No, I don't. That would be that'd be bad for tennis, actually. And welcome to another edition of the Best Three Podcast. I am Alvin, and that is Anastasia from Grounds Pass. How are we doing today?
We are good. We are good. What is it? It's Wednesday. It's almost time for the Wimbledon draw to drop, Wimbledon to start. I'm excited.
Are you excited? I feel I have this thing with Wimbledon, and I love it. I don't love grass court tennis, so I'm of two minds
Really?
when it comes to yeah. It's kind of my thing, not a shtick, but I don't love grass court tennis. It's just
I
me.
think for me, I think first just aesthetically, like we've been watching like players roll around in dirt for months.
Yeah, it's true.
And then there is something about just that fresh green on your screen, and everyone's wearing white, and you're just like, oh, yes, it's summer, you know? Um, so yes, there is something about that, but I do get your point. Once we start with the women, it's different. I actually love watching the women play on grass, but by the time you get to the men and it's like, we're on the second set that went to a tiebreak, you're like, oh God, one more, one more to go.
Yeah, yeah. I can be of two minds about it in that the contrast between all the red dirt we got for eight weeks, I guess it was, and then the quick flip right after French Open onto grass, and then it's a nice truncated season though. Like it's only 3 weeks of warm up events and then 2 weeks of Wimbledon. It's very quick. I like that. But yeah, we're about to get into it, and I think so. Today is Wednesday. We're 2 days before the Wimbledon draw is going to be announced, and we're
Yes.
drawn, and we have this thing that we've been living with for the last 2 weeks or so, which is the I'll call it the Serena of things, right? It's very well documented that she back, and she's played a few doubles events, and she's playing doubles with her sister in Wimbledon, and she's also playing singles. I went on the record a couple weeks ago that I thought it was only logical that she was going to be playing singles. Like we're talking, there's one wild
Really?
card available left for women, and she's on site, she's practicing, um and her coach is a friend of the pod. We've known him for years, Jameer Hans Jenkins, and he posted something on one of his stories, and it's just like the practice court. They were practicing at Wimbledon, and just the targets they had set up on the court. I'm like, yo, those are singles targets. They're doing a singles drill. This is not what are we talking about, people? What are we talking about? Um, so
Okay.
with that being the
Okay.
case, what has Serena World been like for you for the last few weeks? Serena watch, if you
Um,
will.
it's been very interesting. I've been of two minds of it since the beginning. Since we got the news in October that she was on the doping testing list, um, for the longest time, like once we first heard Serena is on in the doping pool and she's getting tested, I thought, oh, okay, great, she's coming back, but it is to help Venus retire. Like that was my thing. Like I was like, they're gonna play the U.S. Open, and that's what's gonna happen. As time went on, people started making rumblings like, oh, she's gonna come back. I heard someone say she was gonna come back to play the Miami Open. I was like, oh, no, I don't think that's gonna happen. Um, and then it was like slowly Wimbledon and stuff, and it began for me. I was like, why? Like, why are you coming back to play tennis? And I fell into the lane of, yes, she's going to help Venus retire, but she's an athlete. She can still play. Being around athletes, what I've realized is that fire sometimes it just never goes away. And if you feel like you have the ability to play and be competitive, um, why not just go for it? And for me, I've always been someone when a player says they're retiring, evolving away from the sport. I'm always like, okay, great, go live your best life. Go, be with your kids and be happy. I've never liked the whole return thing. I just don't get it. I'm just like, but you left. Why are you coming back? Like, why are you changing your mind? That sort of thing. But over the last few weeks, since she first played at Queen's and then Berlin, the one thing that has changed my mind and made me sort of like accept this return and be really happy for people is that so many people are so excited to see Serena live for the first time. So many people have been fans of her for so long, and I think the messages I've been getting from people is like, oh my God, I saw her live for the first time. I never thought this would ever happen. It's kind of changed my mind to this return in a way, and now I'm seeing it through the eyes of her fans rather than trying to be analytical about it and be like, why is she coming back? I'm just like, she has her reasons, whatever they are, that's great. But I've been enjoying people enjoying Serena live for the first time.
I think that's a really good way to look at it. There are two parts to, I guess, any athlete, but an athlete of the stature of Serena Williams, these two parts they're amplified on both sides, right? So you have the tennis player, the on-court stuff, and uh what is it? What's the count? Is it 12 and 10? It's 20 to 30, 28, no, 24, 24 slams, or is she at 22?
No, she's
What is
at
that?
20. She's at 22.
22. 6, 6,
Yeah.
then 10. Okay. Yeah, 22.
Yeah.
So there is that, right? And a great champion. So people start to think about the tennis and what she might be able to do on the tennis court in this particular comeback. And my co-host Tori and I, we talked about, probably at length of like how does she fare against the top 30 in the world, like anyone who might be seated at Wimbledon. And that's one conversation. And I think tennis is interesting because you can look at her career and her body of work from the macro, the 22 Grand Slams, but and then many more in doubles. But then you also can look at the micros. Like she also had some ups and downs. She did take losses to not the champions of our sport, right? The Harmony Tans of our sport. She's spent time outside of the top 100. She's gotten injured. Like it's not like she's been perfect all the time. I think her career almost looks like a mix of Agassi and Djokovic, kind of like with this time away from the sport and then back and the dominance. And so there's that. But then there's also like Serena Williams, the icon. And I think we got a decent dose of that, like an early dose of that last summer when Venus was playing in the States. And people I didn't recognize because they're fairly close to my age. Like Serena and I are only a year apart, 2 years apart, sorry. So like as I looked at her career and I was thinking about this podcast, I was like, a lot of the time I spent like in 15 to 25, we were both 15 to 25. And so, but I was like playing junior tennis and playing college tennis, and then I started teaching, and it's like I wasn't really paying that much attention to her. But later on in her career, when she kind of came back with Patrick, and that's when I started to appreciate her brilliance. And then in the last kind of wave, like when she made those 4 Grand Slam finals, as a parent, her and my daughter share a birthday actually, so it's like seeing her as she means more to more people for a variety of different reasons. That gets me excited about uh, the beginning of this journey of however long it's going to be. If it's going to
Yeah.
be a week, if it's going to be a summer, I don't know, but I'm here for it. I'm here for it.
Yeah. Yeah. I think, I for sure it's going to the US Open, but I think that's it. Like, we're not going to see, Serena Williams go play Asia people. Like,
Right.
she's not going to go on the
Sure.
Asian swing. But I mean, who knows? Will she play Australia next year? Will she, do like 1 point? Who knows? Who knows what happens? Um, but again, I think for me, it really is seeing these fans like so excited. we got a voice note from someone who planned a trip to Berlin, to the WTA tournament in Berlin, and she had planned it a year in advance. Like, that's just how she plans all her trips. Can you imagine like planning a trip a year in advance and it comes around and you're like you're going to see Serena courtside? She was so stoked. She was so happy, and I love that for tennis fans, and it also for tennis in general. Like, where did I see this? Like, it's just popping up everywhere. Sports Center, Good Morning America. T- Her being back in tennis puts tennis on the map. It has obviously been growing in popularity, obviously, but she can take it to just a different place where you just have random Joe Schmoes or like Serena's back playing tennis, and they've never spoken about tennis in years. So I think there's a lot of good of her coming back. Something I've also been thinking about because you mentioned it. Our friend Lucy Deuce, she used to be on Blacksman Global, but she's now sort of gone out on her own. And she mentioned a while ago, she made a video where it was very interesting to me because a lot of fans, especially a lot of tennis fans who've been fans forever, they always go, oh, well, no one's as good as Serena was, or no, Serena was the best, and who are these new players and stuff. And there's a part of me that does want to see that competition. Like, she better draw Sabalenka first round.
Is that what? That,
or
okay.
maybe not Sabalenka. Can you imagine if she drew Coco Gauff first round? Because you do want to see that comparison. And I mentioned this on Ground Pass, our podcast, and I was kind of like, look, it's not a fair comparison because she is 44 years old. Like, she's not playing at the level. We don't know. We'll see. I don't think she's playing at the level at her height when she was much younger. So it's not really a fair sort of like apples to apples, is Serena at her prime better than Sabalenka or Coco or Anisimova or whoever you want to put up there? But can you imagine if she plays one of them and wins? I mean, come on. That's
Yeah, I can actually, because it's not fantasy tennis, right? This isn't a video game where you get to like pull out like unlock a code and get the greatest of all time, like, but that she is like the best version of herself. No, she's the real version of herself right now. And I think that is very different than the looking at the totality of her career and all that she's amassed, right? And that one match, you're not playing against all of that. You're playing against this person. And while I do feel like, yeah, she's 44, that's very real. Um, a lot of what I'm thinking about at this juncture is what I saw in 2022 at her last U.S. Open. She still got to the third round and did not look great. Like, I mean, Serena's always like, she's she's a very tall woman, she's a big woman, and like, so her being able to reduce body mass is like, that's a big deal. She'll move a lot better, she'll feel a lot better. And she wasn't practicing as much in 2022. Like, she's been training for almost, I don't know. When did Hans move down there? He moved down to, so her coach, and I picked this up on Andy's podcast. Her coach lives in Charlotte and plays Dingles with Andy. And Andy let it out like last week after the, Serena stuff was announced that like, yeah, he left Charlotte in September and moved to Florida. Like,
wow.
so Andy's known about this for a long time, but so September was, yeah, so that was 9, 10 months ago. Like, so now she's been training for that long. Um, Obviously Alicia Parks is out there. She's been training with Jesse Levine. I think she's going to be ready. She's going to be as ready as she can be. And I think a ready Serena at 44 is probably a better Serena than, well, she was 40 at the time in 2022.
Yeah, I would
I,
agree.
I don't expect her to win the tournament, but I can judge her as a more savvy player than the vast majority of the women on the tour right now. And I mentioned this in one of our previous podcasts. She hasn't played a lot of them, but none of them have been under the pressure. Not many of them have been under the pressure of playing Serena. Like this is a whole it's a whole thing unto itself. Like Raducanu has like Emma beat her some years ago. Um, Sabalenka's played her. Obviously Svitolina. Like there's a bunch of them that have played her, but this is um this is gonna be fun. The draw is gonna
Yeah.
be. I'm so excited. I'm more excited for the draw than the tournament to start. Like this is gonna be insane, insane.
I've been thinking of sort of like, I'm like, because I'm not sure, but I think the draw is going to be 4 a.m. or 5 a.m. Eastern. And I literally have been like, do I wake up and just watch this thing live? Because I am, because she's a wild card. She could draw anybody. And I just want the gods to be good to us, the draw gods, if you're listening. Just give us some spice, please. Just give us a good, because you're right in the sense that, people like Svitolina, Sabalenka have played her. But I didn't think that the aura of Serena and the pressure of playing her would be as evident immediately. And you saw it in her first match. She played against, it was Erin Routliffe and Nicole Melichar Martinez. Those are elite doubles players. Like, that is not just whoever, I just dropped in, whatever. Those are elite doubles players. And you could see the tension and the just like pressure and nervousness in them. I was like, what are you doing? This is not the tennis you play. Erin Routliffe. Like, what is happening? So it was interesting to see. And then it was actually really interesting to see the contrast because Erin Routliffe, but with a different partner, got to play her again in Berlin. And you could just tell Erin was like, no, not twice in a row. I will not take
Yeah,
that from you. So that was interesting. So I do think there's a huge element of the sort of pressure, nervousness that whoever is playing against Serena is gonna need to handle in some way.
yeah. So I mean, that was really interesting because she played with the same partner 2 weeks in a row, but Serena had a different partner.
No, Erin
Like
had a
I'm
different
pretty sure she
partner.
played with the same partner. Did she really? Okay, okay.
Yeah, she
Um,
did. Yeah. Yeah.
so the doubles thing is interesting because like while we have our doubles specialists, I still like I've contended this always since my junior days, college coaching. If you give them enough time, the two best players, you have the two best players on the court, those they will win. They will generally win. And I felt like with that particular matchup, like you've got Serena and a top 10 player, like I don't care if they've never played doubles together before. That's gonna be tough to deal with. And so but it's different. It's very different. The the experience of facing Serena though will I think be the same. And I kind of like that she's not playing any warm-up events or any warm-up matches because with every time that someone gets a chance to see her, that aura like it comes down a little bit throughout the entire locker room. So like right now nobody knows what to expect. Um I mean I'm sure there's been some other players that she's hit with outside of Alicia, but I feel like the surprise element, the mystique element is on her side. I've been thinking about this and I'm curious to get your opinion of like for everyone involved, what's the best place for her to land in the draw? Like you mentioned like playing Sabalenka or Coco or Iga in the first round would be wild, but also they could also probably beat her like 2-2. That could happen too, and then it's no more fun, right? Then we gotta wait
Yeah.
5 days or whatever it is until the women's doubles start. Like I want to draw this out a little bit. Give me someone like 70 in the world. That's where I want her to land, or maybe wild card versus qualifier. Like that'd be great too. Not Harmony Tan though, because Harmony Tan I think she did qualify.
Yeah. It's funny because I think it also just depends on the player. Like I literally think, I think I'm making the joke. I was like, oh, if she draws Sabalenka, I feel like she could beat Sabalenka only because Sabalenka would have a meltdown. In her current state that she's kind of like been playing as. So you almost want to be careful with it because, like you, yes, it would suck if it was like literally like a 2-2 and then you wait for the doubles and you're just like, ugh, okay. So if she could get a couple of rounds, that would be lovely. But I think the sort of player that would be a problem for Serena is almost a younger kind of like European who doesn't really care. Like if she plays Maya Shwalinska, I mean, I don't know. You know what I mean? Like Maya would be like,
tough.
She's like, I'm from Poland, I'm 20, I'm gonna beat you. Like that, she doesn't care. Versus Coco Gauff. There's tension there. There would be nervousness there. Even if I would say Coco Gauff is the better athlete, you're sort of like, would she win though? You don't know. So I don't know. I think it's tough to know what could happen. You almost someone I think it was the tennis podcast who were like, wouldn't it be cool if she drew like Laura Siegmund in the first round?
That'd be horrible. That'd be
That would be
horrible.
horrible.
No, that would be horrible. It would be horrible because like there's some things here like okay, so the grass court of things, right? Like
Yeah.
one, not many like not many players are great on grass, right? You don't get a lot of reps on it, especially if you're not from, that part of Europe.
Yeah.
Like some players, like I play 2 grass court events a year, and that's it. Like she's won the thing, what, like 7 times? Like like Serena knows how to play on grass, and so, but like so does Laura Siegmund, and like so that's kind of a problem. And Laura's older, like she's not, and Laura's well, we know what Laura is. Um, but there's also the tennis of it. Like I don't think she's going to do well with someone who's going to make her move or who can move well also. Um, like someone who is underpowered might be a little more. I don't know. It's tough to say. Like Coco's not great on grass, and Coco has a tough time finishing, like going through people.
Mm-hmm.
Ergo, it'd be tough to with that skill set to beat Serena. Like I'm not saying Coco would lose to Serena. I'm just saying like someone who cannot put up 40 winners in a match or just not miss balls. Like you need kind of the extreme. Look at someone like a Sabalenka, or even go back to someone like uh I can't think of the name right now, but it's all very speculative and it's all kind of all over the place.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
considering we
who
don't
do
have
you,
Carlos Alcaraz, I'm glad we have Serena Williams.
you know what? That's big. That is a really big point because I didn't think we're going to go back to the draw thing because I do want to ask you what you think her like who you would want her to draw first, but I did not think not having Carlos Alcaraz at Roland Garros was going to be too much of a big deal. Like it was a bummer, but I was like, oh, but you got Sinner, you got everybody. That tournament needed Carlos Alcaraz. It was brutal after a while. There were some, moments and stuff, but you're just like, damn, where's just that sparkle? Where is that little je ne sais quoi? Where is it? And it was Carlos Alcaraz and he wasn't there. Thank God Wimbledon has Serena Williams because that's what we're going to need. We're going to need some sort of sparkle, some sort of je ne sais quoi. You know what's going on. Remember when Carlos played that 5-set match for no reason in his first round of Wimbledon last year against Fonini?
Yeah.
That's what you need. You need that sort of are you serious? Are you being for real right now? That's what you need. And Serena, I think, will be there to provide it because we're all going to be like, what's happening, what's going on. And I think having her as this sort of entertainment fun element of the tournament is going to be great. Like even just looking on social media and seeing how other players are reacting to her, like you're just like, yeah, like that's the sort of that's what I want to see. But for you, who do you what would you want for her in the first round?
I want like I want a match she can win. I think playing actually a young American, like someone I'll use like a Peyton Stearns, maybe like a McCartney Kessler, like those are winnable matches. Like players who at their best and at Serena's best, Serena would beat them anyways. But even if you take 15 years off of Serena's best, they would also potentially freak out. Like that's I want like one of those matchups. I don't want anything blockbuster. And this is coming from not maybe not the tennis standpoint, but maybe from a, you know, here in this tennis media space, we get a lot of eyeballs on us during the Grand Slams. Like I don't need I don't need her playing Coco in the first round. Coco gets enough eyeballs. I need them away from each other. Um,
Yeah,
I want, yeah,
opposite sides of the
I
draw.
want this to matter. I want to see some momentum here. I want to see some momentum. So yeah, give me. Uh, I would even I'll even pull up the WTA rankings here. Let me see what I can find quickly. But I think that's what I want, and I think
Yeah.
ESPN. I'm not afraid to say it. I feel like ESPN having the rights. I feel like they'll. I believe in some backdoor deals. I believe.
You're like,
I
can we
think they
just
will.
make sure it's Peyton Stearns? We already saw what Venus did. Like, let's just do that part two. Let's go.
I think that's a really good facsimile of what I think could happen.
Yeah,
And like, and this is not, I mean, no disrespect to Venus, but like, this ain't Venus. This is Serena. This
right.
is different. Yeah, maybe even like Katarina Siniakova is ranked 35 in the world right now. Like that's not a bad matchup. That's not a bad matchup. Uh, Krejcikova, horrible matchup. Like I feel like Barbora would take Serena down strong. Um,
Like,
I would put money on
without even
Barbora in that match.
flinching. Without,
Yeah, yeah.
like, see, that's the thing. You don't want a player who would not be affected by her aura, because they are just some players that will just be like, I don't care. Like, great, cool, cheer for her. It's fine. I'm a win, and I'm gonna go home and have my strawberry pasta, because that's what ego would do. You're gonna be like, it's fine, it's okay, you know.
Yeah,
So I
like
think for the drama, you're right. And Ashlyn Kruger, maybe, you know, something like that.
Kruger. Yeah, that'd be a good one. That would be a good one. Or Maya Joint. Like I feel like Maya's been having a horrible year as well. Like I feel like that's almost she's young. She's not having the best year. Yeah, that's the one you want to play against. But like
Yeah,
not Katie McNally, who is playing good ball right now and is a gamer and is going to be attacking. Like that's what you don't want.
yeah.
But yeah,
I don't know.
it's going to make for an interesting draw.
Here is a sort of philosophical question for you, because as we sort of like talk about this and kind of like put up names and all of this stuff, because it takes me back to the sentiment of, you know, the past was way better than what is happening now. Tennis back when Serena was playing was so much the level was so high compared to what is happening right now. If Serena comes out and beats all these girls that we're talking about, does that amplify those people who think that way, that tennis now is just not at the same level? Or because we see these debates all the time where, and I just always have thought it's such an unfair comparison. You know, technology has changed, the players are different, the way of playing is different, courts are different, balls are, everything is, it's so hard to make it equal, to do that sort of comparison. But do you think that sort of thing then amplifies if she gets to the third round, fourth round?
I mean, we don't have to go that far back for the example, for the comp here, because 2022 US Open, she did beat the number 2 ranked player in the world effectively with no practice, right? She did beat is it Kontaveit. She
Annette.
beat Annette
Yeah.
Kontaveit like in the second round. So, and she was 2 in the world. I do I want to live in a world where Serena Williams at 44 wins Wimbledon? No, I don't. That'd be bad for tennis, actually. Um, I think it's really interesting in that we think about Serena as this thing, but when you look back at her career, like there's 4 separate spaces of her career where she did as much in a 5-year run as any one of these girls on tour have done in their career, right? There was a space where she won 6 slams and then got hurt and went away. And then she came back and she won another 6 slams and then she got hurt or it came back. And then she won 10 slams. So like those were all different times in tennis when she did it, like as well. Like there was the Capriatis and the Selises that she was dealing with. And then at some point there was the Hennons and the Kleisters she was dealing with. And then a little bit later, add in whoever you want to add in there. But um if she were to come back and beat players, I think the comparison is not necessarily that tennis is so much better now, because I think on the whole it is. There are more good players. Like I think the top 20 is better, kind of top to bottom, which we've seen we've had 6 straight different winners of women's Grand Slams. Like I think that is a testament to how good tennis is right now on the women's side. But the other side of the coin is like, okay, then is anyone great? And I think that is where you start to have the argument of like, does greatness mean the same now as it did then? And Serena was great. Venus was great. Uh, Kim Clijsters to a certain extent was great. Justine Henin was great. Then it's I think present day. I think this where Sabalenka is right now in her career is a perfect time to do the comparison. Is like, okay, is Sabalenka great, or is she really good? Does she belong in that conversation, or is she really good? Because she has won 4 Grand Slams, but they've all been on hard court, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Serena won 3 on her worst surface, and did the career Grand Slam twice. So I don't know. It makes it a very like we're talking about very, very different things here. But it's the great versus good conversation that I'm actually interested in.
Okay. So that just brings me right back to Serena Williams, Aryna Sabalenka, first round. Go.
We don't want that. We don't, trust me, we don't want that.
Look, I just listened to what you said, and that's what you said.
That is what I said. It's like, okay, fair. Okay. God bless. That'd be horrible. That would be so bad.
I want to see that so bad. Like, there's a part of me that I just need that to happen. I need her to play because in a lot of ways, they are the same person. Like, if you want to just like look at Aryna Sabalenka and Serena Williams, the characters that they are, not saying players, not saying, whatever, the characters that they are, loud personalities, super strong tennis players, just like you hear them before you see them and it's them, that needs to happen first round, I just, yeah. That is the, if you were going to make an ESPN commercial, WWE style, like match, like the lights are firing and I can see the commercial now. Tiger versus Serena. Like, oh my God. You could just take that match and pay-per-view it People would buy that. People would buy it.
Mm, mm. Would that be the would that be the would that be the most, I'm gonna say, glittery match? Or okay, I'll submit you three, two to go
Okay.
along with that
Okay.
one. So Serena versus Sabalenka would be one. I think Serena versus Coco would that would that might break ESPN, right? Serena versus Naomi would
No,
be
absolutely not.
also
Absolutely
extremely,
not.
no,
No. So
that's the
okay,
one you don't want.
let's break it all down. Let's break it down.
Okay.
And we'll start with the last one that you just mentioned. If we got Serena versus Naomi first round, no. Nobody wants to see that. The history there, that US Open, nobody wants to see that right away. Maybe round 4. We'll take it round 4. You know, we will not take that first round. Like that is just too much history that's painful and we don't want to see that right now. So
Mhm.
I think, I don't know about you, but let me know. But I think that one is, absolutely not. No.
See, this is I can't separate like the the podcast space from also like my career in we'll call it sports media kind of over there. But
Yeah.
like what we want is we want Serena playing on the 4th of July. So that means Serena has to get to about the third round for that to happen.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
if she gets to the third round, then either she has gone through a seed or she's going to be playing a seed. I think someone like an Alexandrova in the first round would be great. Like take that seed spot and then move forward and play one of these other big names under the weekend of the 4th of July weekend that everyone's paying attention. That's what everyone wants. That's what everyone wants. We don't want Sabalenka in the first round. We don't want Coco in the first round. We don't want any of these women in the first round. We want Serena to just be Serena, take up all this space and ease her way into this draw as if she were seeded. So the
Right.
only way to get that is to beat a
Is to
seed in the
beat the
first round.
seed
Just
and get the seeded
right.
spot. Yeah. But
Yeah.
I mean, just in terms of analyzing those matchups, though, I feel like, because if I'm on Threads a lot. Like I actually love the conversation that happens on Threads a lot. And there are a lot of fan bases there and they all like chat and talk. Um, and if she plays Naomi Osaka, like I think there would be mutiny. They would go to Wimbledon and talk personally to whoever made the draw if she plays Naomi Osaka first round. If she played Coco, it would be a bummer as well, I think, for a lot of people. But I think a lot of people might see that as sort of like the passing on of the torch, if Coco wins kind of vibes. Like it'll be happy and joyful, but not really what we want. If she plays Sabalenka, I mean, people are going to be throwing parties. Like they're going to be watch parties just everywhere. There'll be a holiday in wherever you are watching from. People will close off the streets and put up a screen. And they're watching that. And they're only rooting for one person, unfortunately. But that's how the
Yeah.
fan bases
Yeah.
work. And that, I think, would create something that a lot of times doesn't happen in tennis. I think other than the Sincaraz matchup, there isn't any other matchup that people are like, let's turn on the TV. Turn on the TV. We're going to go watch that. And that's what this would be. They're really, I mean, when you think about it, truly, like, people see Sincaraz and they're like, when, where, how? Who's coming with me to come
Right.
watch?
Right.
What other matchup is there like that? And I feel like a Serena Aryna. Oh my God. Serena Aryna. Oh God. Like I can see it now, it would be such a moment. And that's why I want it to happen. That's all. That's why I want it to happen.
Yeah, I mean, you have a good point about like the rivalries within tennis right now, right? Yeah, it's Sinner Alcaraz. I think in either one of those two against Novak gets people's attention. But on the women's side, it's so like I mean, we've only had Aryna versus Iga once in a Grand Slam, I think. Is that right? And that was last year's French Open. No, yeah, last year's French
Yeah,
Open semifinal.
semis, I
Yeah.
think.
Um, yeah, semis. Yep. And so because there's so much parity at the top, that also leaves us with a lack of rivalries.
Yeah.
So and then also you take into consideration like the three players we named, Aryna, Coco, Naomi. None of them have done anything on grass. Like
No. Yep.
Arena's never won a grass
Yeah.
court event. Coco has never won a grass court event. I don't think Naomi's ever won a grass court event either. So that almost makes it a little like what would we learn coming out of any of those matches? Like it's also a little surface dependent. Like I don't think if Aryna beats Serena, what do we take from that? Like she's the number one player in the world. She should beat a older woman who has not played competitively in 4 years, right? If she loses, oh God, no, yeah, we don't need that. We don't need that. I don't want that. That's gonna make things a little weird, especially in my neck of the woods here, um, because we've been talking a lot about like
Let
what
me
does the downfall of Aryna Sabalenka look like, and I contend that we're in it right now. We've seen the peak of her, and this is what the come down looks like, and this would just kind of this I think this would yeah, that'd be a lot to deal with.
yeah, I think it's very interesting, you know. I don't know if we're going to talk about any other players in this, but watching Aryna Sabalenka right now, you're sort of like, but wait, you were like my dependable, oh, she's just going to win it girl. And she just isn't that anymore. And, you know, she has a lot going on. Like I said, like she's a very big personality. And in recent years, even before officially getting engaged and stuff, she's just doing so much other stuff. She's in Vogue, she's in this, and kind of again, like Serena, she likes that part too. She likes the cover of Vogue and the massive engagement ring and the pomp and circumstance of it all. And you wonder, I've never thought of that actually, that we might have seen her peak. Because I feel like it would be a huge disappointment for her if she never wins a Grand Slam on a natural surface. Like I feel like she's literally been waiting to complete the career slam, you know? And and I think she is, I mean, she's talked about it a lot, about wanting to start a family and all of that stuff. I really think she's the sort of player who she'll win the career slam and she'll be like, deuces, I'm gonna go get married and have a ton of babies.
Yeah, I just feel like the career slam is like I think we assumed that it was going to happen for her because of the level of dominance she's had over the last 18 months, let's say prior to the French Open. But when you start to look back on it, I'll come back to I'm gonna say she's only won 4 Grand Slams,
Yeah.
right? We assumed the career Grand Slam was gonna come, but like I don't know why. Like I have nothing to
Because
point
she
to
kept
that
getting to
says
the finals of
she's a championship
everything.
winning grass court player because she's never like not a 250, not a 500. She's never won a grass court event. So like to go from that to saying she's going to win Wimbledon, it's like I don't have a reason to believe that that is true. She also has a really shaky 3-set Grand Slam uh record. Like it's very shaky. And so and she's also 28 years old, which is like obviously it's not 44, but when you look at the people in her like her cohort, those others in the top five outside of Jessica, she's significantly older than the rest of them. Like and the things you mentioned, she's thinking about what life outside of being a professional tennis player actually looks like. I yeah, I don't know. I have my reasons to believe that this and it's nothing obviously it's nothing personal. I like Aryna Sabalenka and I think the world of her as a tennis player, but everything that comes up must come down, and when it comes down, there is a point in which when it looks like it's at the top, it's actually moving down. So like it's I think it's just something to keep an eye on. I'm not saying she's falling outside the top 10 anytime soon, but I'm I don't know. We say all this and then she'll watch her win Wimbledon and shut me up. That's probably what happens in the next few weeks.
Hey, she started seeing a sports psychologist, so you never, she's gonna,
Again?
you never know.
Okay,
You never know what's gonna happen.
good.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Let me ask you this. What does over the course of 2 weeks of Wimbledon, what does coverage look like for ground pass? How do you guys handle, if you could take me behind the scenes, how do you handle a Grand Slam?
So usually in the Grand Slam, I think maybe way back in the day we tried to do dailies, and that's just not sustainable for a podcast like ours. So what we tend to do is we do every other round review. So we will do a round 1 and 2, 3 and 4, and so on and so forth. So you will get more podcasts from us during a Grand Slam. So that's great. If we're on the grounds, obviously it would be a little different, but that's pretty much it. And then we do one episode every Grand Slam, focusing on the fashion of it all and talking about the kits and all that stuff, because all of that stuff is fun as well. But yeah, that's basically it for Grand Slams for us.
Right. Yeah, like if you're not a tennis podcast, right, and they get to do it, they're there on site. It's kind of part of their rotation, right? Like they matches all day, do the podcast. Someone else edits it and posts it, and then they come back and get the next thing. Okay, that's how you do daily coverage from a slam. Um, at best, we try to go every round, so every other day.
Okay.
Um, but during the French Open, I kind of botched it because I thought it'd be cool because I'd be in France, and that would make the French Open interesting. But what happened was during week 2, I was just technically on vacation and was not watching much tennis at all. And I was on the same time zone. So like I had no advantage of like the 5 hour head start in the day. It's just like, oh no, I can't watch tennis until 9 o'clock at night. And so we didn't do a single podcast from like round 3 until the I don't know, finals or something like that. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, so that's how it goes. So I vowed that I will not be traveling during Grand Slams ever again. I'm not even going to the U.S. Open this year. I'm going to wait. Well, I'm going to go during qualifying. I'm going to go 2 days for qualifying and then come back home.
I'm like, how dare you? What do you mean you're not coming to the U.S. Open?
I'm doing it on my terms. On my
Okay.
terms.
Okay. Okay, fine.
Yeah, yeah. I feel like I love tennis. Like everyone loves tennis. And when I go to some of these tournaments, it's nice to run into like some coaches that I might know or, kind of bounce around a little bit. I'm not actually that interested in sitting down and watching a tennis match. I don't really need to watch an entire match in person to take away what I need to take away for you know, for the uses of this podcast or, building my own information bank. Like, so therefore practice becomes a lot more valuable to me. Um, let me go watch 30 minutes. Let me get some footage. Like, let me get what I need to get. And then like for me, the best place for me to be watching matches is actually at my house. And especially during Grand Slam, bounce around court to court. Like I don't need to sit down and watch anyone play a match for 2 hours on day 1 or day 3 of an event. I don't need that. Still need it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's my approach. That's my approach. I think we can probably put a pin in it. It was good to get some Serena talk in. I I cannot wait until the straw comes out. Like I am stupid excited for the straw to come out, and it's I'm sure everyone else is as well. And then it'll come out on Friday, and we'll have something like some 2 to 4 days of anticipation of that match. But the world will be watching. We will be covering it. It will be great. Um,
Yeah.
so
You're the
Anastasia, I
first
appreciate you
person I'm
coming.
gonna text if she
Always a
draws
pleasure to talk
Aryna.
to you. I guess we probably won't see each other. Yeah, I don't think we'll see each other again probably until DC. Will I see you in DC?
Yes, yes, yes. I'm gonna go to DC.
Okay, perfect, awesome. Okay, so Wimbledon, here we come, and it's gonna be fun. So once again, I'm Alvin. That's Anastasia. Best of 3 / grounds pass. We are